This is the conception of Brahman in Advaita Vedanta. What is this universe? It is nothing but existence only. What is this universe? It is nothing but consciousness only. What is this universe? It is nothing but finally bliss only. Sat, Chit, Ananda. How can we think of all of this as existence only, or consciousness only, or bliss only? We get clues from the three states of waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Consider this waking state. What are we trying to do? Understand Sachidananda. Consider this waking state. What's our feeling about this waking state? Things are real here. Dreams are not real, but this is real. Real chairs, real people, real room, even real space. Empty space also real. Real sounds and sights and smells and touches. Real pains and pleasures. It's real. What is real is. This is, that is. What Advaita Vedanta says is, you take that isness which is so evident in the waking state and focus on that. Think of this waking state itself as an ocean of isness, existence. It's easier in the waking state because you feel this existence. It's very difficult to say that waking state is a dream. Why? Because it feels real. Advaita says, take that reality. Instead of cutting it up into little tables, chairs, people, take it as an ocean of reality in which, like waves in an ocean, chairs and people and vehicles and trees and sky and earth are appearing and changing. But the reality itself is like an unbroken ocean of water. Is. When do you understand this? In the waking state. You get a clue from the dream state. What is a dream state? When you wake up from a dream and you analyze it, what happened? The mind in itself. The mind is supposed to be something in here. In the waking state, it doesn't seem that this is a mind. The waking state, it seems it's out there, real. The mind is something in here. It feels like that. Well, that mind which is in here, in the dream state, it became a whole world. There were people, there was sky and earth, there were things happening. There were living and non-living things. There was pleasure and pain. There are all sorts of activities going on, mostly crazy. That's a dream. And it was the mind itself, by itself, which appeared as all of that. That gives us a clue as to how consciousness can appear as its own object. You see, the dream state makes it very believable, understandable, how consciousness can appear as its own objects. What we are aware of is not apart from the awareness. Just as in the dream, whatever we saw was not apart from the dreaming mind. And the deep sleep state gives us a clue to Ananda, bliss. And not particular pleasures, not this little excitement, that little excitement, not this tickling of the senses, but a peace beyond all problems, a peace that, passeth understanding, that cannot be disturbed. You see, even the sickest person, even the most unhappy person, when they fall into deep sleep, no problem at all. All the problems come when the mind vibrates. Then the problems arise. But when the mind shuts down, beyond that, from the perspective of the mind, it feels like nothing. Yeah, obviously there's no problem because there's nothing. How can there be a problem? No, from the mind's perspective, it's nothing. From your perspective, it's the absence of the mind. And that absolute calm to which we return. It seems like nothing, but why do we do? Do we want it so much? Why do we go back to it? It's because it is the deepest rest that we get. That's a clue to Ananda. Ananda is not particular little joys. So the waking state gives us the clue to Sat, existence. The dream state gives us a clue to how consciousness can be everything, Chit. The dream state gives us an idea of how Ananda can be bliss and beyond all suffering. The deep sleep state gives us that experience. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. This is a very nice way of understanding Sat, Chit, Ananda. Just a clue to each one. Why I'm talking about Sachidananda, this is what we have come to in at this point in our analysis, the ultimate reality, which alone is appearing as this entire universe. One reason I was thinking about it was last week I got two questions about the same question from two places. This formulation of the ultimate reality as Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. So what's the history of it? When did it first come together in this form? The same question, one came from Harvard University, another one came from a researcher in Beijing, China. The same question. Of course, that researcher also studied 2 years ago at Harvard, so there must be a link there. They must be discussing this. How did Sachidananda evolve this conception? It's a delightful subject to dwell upon. And remember, we're talking about our own reality. What is Sachidananda? What is Sachidananda? Existence, consciousness, bliss. Sachidananda is first and fundamental one. Sachidananda is infinity. Sachidananda is oneness. It's the first and fundamental thing in existence and in consciousness and in bliss. What does it mean, first and fundamental? What does it mean that it is infinite? What does it mean that Sachidananda is oneness? Quickly, let me run you through this. First and fundamental. Upanishad says, Brahma Vidya Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Mundaka Upanishad, it says, the knowledge of Brahman, the science of Brahman is the foundation of all sciences. Because Brahman is the foundation of everything. How so? Here we go to the German philosopher Heidegger. A very nice analysis of existence. A question of what is existence? In our terms, what is Sat? Now Heidegger, not many people read him today. He's out of favor. He was a Nazi. So, which goes to show that even super intelligent people can also be very fallible human beings. Out of sheer moral weakness, he was a Nazi. But he had some brilliant insights. So one of those insights I'm sharing with you, in his introduction to metaphysics, the first lecture he talks about existence. And he says this is a question which Western philosophy abandoned during the Greek period itself. What is existence? What are existing things? What is space? What is earth? What is life? What is good? What is bad? That comes later. But what is existence itself? What is isness itself? That was seen as too difficult a question, too abstract a question. Nobody wanted to venture into it. And Heidegger said, I'm reviving this question. This is the question in our Vedantic terms. What is Sat, pure being? So Heidegger says, he gives us an insight into it. He says, this question, what is existence? He says it is the widest question, the deepest question, the most fundamental question. Widest, deepest, most fundamental. Why widest? Think about it. Every subject that we study, suppose you are studying biology. So the person who's studying biology is interested in a particular subset of knowledge. Is not all that interested in chemistry as long as it doesn't have direct bearing on his study of life. He's not interested in music. He's not interested in grammar. He's interested in biology, in the particular organisms he's studying. But a person who is interested, so he's studying maybe plants, but not interested in animals. But person who is studying life will be interested in plants and animals, a wider question. A person, if you are interested in living things and non-living things, then you'll be interested in an even wider question, which includes physics, chemistry, biology. So what's the widest possible question, which will include everything and leave out nothing? Then the question must be, what is existence itself? What will you study there? Everything that exists. Someone might say, but what about non-existence? Then you will not study that. You are leaving it out. But the answer is non-existence does not exist, so there is no problem. You are not leaving out anything that exists, because what is existence is the widest question. All fields of human inquiry, all sciences, all arts, all religion, even if God, heaven, existing. Any religion, ask, are you talking about God exists or does not exist? They'll say, no, it exists. God exists. He, she, it exists. Then it is included in the question, what is existence? Widest question. Deepest question. What do you mean by deep question? Look at the sciences. If you're studying, say, neuroscience, then like a more fundamental question than neuroscience would be the study of the physiology, which includes brain and nervous systems, but also the whole body. Even more deeper than that would be the study of life itself. Even deeper than that would be the study of chemistry, the chemical basis of life then, and more fundamental. Even deeper than that chemistry would be physics, which makes up the materials you study in chemistry, the particles, particle physics, for example. Even deeper than that, Is there anything deeper than fundamental physics? Yes. Mathematicians will say, we are here. I saw a cartoon, which shows deeper and deeper levels of study. So there is the doctor who is studying physiology. Then the next is the biologist who is saying, I'm superior, I study life itself. Next comes the chemist. I say, I study the basis of life, which is chemical elements, organic, inorganic. And then the higher than that is the physics professor who says, oh, I'm studying the fundamental particles out of which your chemicals are made. And then far higher is the mathematician. You say, I am here. I'm studying the basics of reality itself, mathematics. So deeper than that is what? Existence itself. So existence is the deepest question. Widest, deepest question. And then finally, most fundamental question. What do you mean by fundamental? It's a little subtle. Every subject is, when you study something, you're studying that, you're not studying yourself. You're studying biology. So or you're studying, say, mathematics. It's not studying the mathematician himself. Mathematician is studying mathematics. But when you say, what is existence? That question, what is existence, is also existing. It shares in existence. It's a kind of existence. If questions exist, so it's some kind of existence. So question also exists. So what is not only questioning everything that exists, it's questioning itself also. It's self-referential. So these are the most fundamental types of questions which question themselves also. So anyway, the whole point is Sat is fundamental. It's the most primary of things. The first, it is the widest question, deepest question, and the most fundamental question. Chit, consciousness. It is consciousness first, and then every experience becomes possible. Worldly experience, spiritual experience, from drinking a cup of coffee to seeing God. All of that first, consciousness. Upanishad says, Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By its light, everything here is lit up. That shining, everything shines. Or in Ashtavakra's language, by my light, everything here is lit up. I shining, everything shines. Prakasham me nijam rupam. So consciousness is fundamental. It's first. And Ananda, bliss, that is fundamental. The Ananda of the self is the foundation of all bliss. The Vidyaranya Swami in Panchadashi, about 700 years ago in the south of India, classic of Advaita Vedanta. There he gives a very interesting argument. He says that the self is the source of all happiness, is the source of maximum happiness and everlasting happiness. Atman, consciousness, existence, you yourself, is the source of, is maximum happiness and everlasting happiness. We normally don't think about it that way. We think there are things out there which are sources of our happiness. A cookie is a source of my happiness. Not maximum, not everlasting also. Thank God, who would want an everlasting cookie? So, but from a cookie up to, say, classical music, up to devotion, God, all of those are sources of happiness. We think of it outside ourselves. We never think, I am the source of all happiness and maximum happiness and everlasting happiness. How does he say so? Let me just touch upon that and wrap up. Vidyaranya says, that which we like, we try to get it or keep it. That which we do not like, we try to get rid of it. Either we avoid it or we get rid of it. Something that gives me pleasure, pain, that something that gives me joy, happiness, I try to get it. It could be a person, it could be an activity, it could be a gadget, it could be a book. I try to get it and keep it. And if I don't like it, I try to get rid of it or I try to avoid it. Now, the reverse is also true. If there is something which is giving me happiness continuously, I will never try to get rid of it. It's the reverse of that logic. Now notice, one thing we never try to get rid of anybody is one's own self. And it's immediately objection, suicide. Yes, but suicide is because of an adventitious something from outside. Somebody who is in depression, somebody who has got maybe a lot of money to pay off, is going to be evicted from his or her home. Depression, I want to kill myself. Then you help that person and you remove that debt, you pay back the debt or something, and then so what happened? What happened to your project of killing yourself? Oh, no, now I don't want to kill myself. That means there's nothing wrong with myself. It was the debt which made it intolerable. Nobody ever really wants to kill themselves for the sake of themselves. It's something from outside which comes. So we never want to get rid of ourselves. If we never want to get rid of ourselves, that means we are everlastingly the source of joy for ourselves. Look at the logic. Yeah. Something you like, you try to keep it. If something you're trying to keep, that means you like it. Why do you like it? It must be giving you happiness. We try to keep ourselves. We try to remain alive. This struggle for life is the most fundamental urge in human beings. We try to keep ourselves alive all the time. I want to be, I want to exist. And Vidyaranya takes it in a unique direction. Aha! You want to keep yourself alive all the time. That means you like yourself all the time. That means you are a source of happiness to yourself all the time. Everlasting source of happiness. Who? Ananda, you. This is the meaning of Ananda, one meaning. So yeah, but that's a very little happiness, not maximum happiness. Other things in the world give me much more happiness. It's sort of baseline little drips of happiness from my own existence, but I need to add to it from everything in the world. That's what we feel. No. Vidyaranya goes and says that no, you yourself are your own source of maximum happiness. You just don't see it. How are you the source of maximum happiness? He gives another cute argument. We don't think about it that way. Peculiar argument. What is the argument? He wants to show that I myself am the source of my own greatest happiness. The logic he uses is, you love things because they make you happy. Now, if one thing is loved more than the other thing, if one thing is loved for the sake of another thing, A is loved for the sake of B, which one do you love more? B. If the mother loves the child's toys, and which belong to the child, they're loved for the sake of the child, because her child's toys, that's why she loves them. Now, what does she love more, the toys or the child? If you laugh, this is of course the child. It would be a very, very strange mother who loves the toys, not the child. That means you love the toys for the sake of the child. That means you love the child more. So, okay, that's reasonable. What do you love most? What is everything loved for the sake of? Upanishads say everything is loved for your own sake. That sounds terribly selfish, but it's not that limited body mind we are talking about, the Atman. So there was this rich executive with a brilliant job, with a high-paying job, and so somebody asked him the question, so isn't it ultimately for the sake of the self, everything? He says, no. I love my job for the sake of the job. I love doing my job. And he was honest. He loved this. He was young. So, I love the job itself. So, all right. In that case, your wonderful salary package, which you get compensation from the company, we are going to take that away. And then you can do the job, just for the job itself. No, I want that. Okay, so you love the job for the sake of the money. That means you love the money more. I guess so. Which one would you do? Give you a choice. You can do the job, but no money. Or you can have the money, no job. Which one would you prefer? I'll have the money. All right, so you love it for the sake of the money. But now suppose you have the money, and but you're not allowed to spend it. You can get money, but you can't do anything with it. No, I need to spend it for all the things that it can buy, Said, all right. Then you love the things you can buy with the money more than the money. Yes. Well, you can get all the things you can buy, but you can't use any of it. You can't give it to anybody. You can't use it for yourself. No. I need it all. Not for my sake, but I need it all for my family. Also, you love your family more than the things which you give your family. Of course. All right. But suppose that family, they are no longer your family. Just some random family. We'll pick one out for you. You do it for them? No, they have to be my family. So family for my family. Now my family is I. Which is loved more than the family or I? The logic says I. See, job, but money is more important. Money, but the things are more important. Things, but family is more important. But family, but my family, I am more important. It has to be mine. It comes all the way back to the self, even in a common sense analysis. And of course, Advaitic analysis. Now, I am loved most of all. But what do you love? That which makes you happy. What do you love most? That which makes you most happy. I am loved most of all. Then I must be making myself most happy. So the self is the source of continuous happiness and maximum happiness. This is called Ananda. This is an analysis from Vidyaranya Swami, thousands of years ago. What comes of all this? Now you look back upon what Ashtavakra said. He says, Yatha prakashayam eka dehamenam tatha jagat. As I illumine this one body, I illumine the entire world too. The whole thing is presented to me. Ataha, he says, Jagat sarvam, mama jagat, ataha mama jagat sarvam. And therefore, this entire universe is mine, or none of it is. Athava nacha kinchana. The conclusion here is very dramatic. Why is this entire universe mine? Go back to the concept of adhyasa. Can the rope say that somebody sees a snake, mistakes me for a snake, somebody mistakes me for a garland, somebody mistakes me for a crack in the earth? Well, the crack in the earth, the garland and the snake are all me. They're all mine. Because I am alone, I'm being mistaken for all these things. I alone appear as this entire universe. So it is all mine. Step one. But then Ashtavakra goes even deeper than the adhyasa of Advaita Vedanta. He says, but all mine, is there all at all? Are there people, are there things, are there places? Or is it consciousness, light shining? Prakasham me nijam rupam anatirikto asmyaham tataha. My own nature is light shining. I am not one bit more than that. It is all mine. Athava nacha kinchana. Or even deeper truth, none of it, because none of it exists. So it's nothing. No, I exist. Consciousness exists. Light shining. It is all light shining. Look, he's not denying the experience of the universe. He says, Yada prakashayati vishvam, yada prakashate vishvam, tada aham bhasa evahi. So when this entire universe shines forth, I shine forth. I means I light, I consciousness shine forth. Therefore, even when the universe is being experienced, when you are talking, hearing, walking, working, enjoying, suffering, all of it is as nothing, because it is just light shining forth. It is all being itself, light itself, bliss itself. This is Sat, this is Chit, this is Ananda.